Hey, welcome everyone to the Lee Selectmen's meeting. We want to remind everyone that the meeting is recorded, and we ask everyone to stay muted until you're called upon by the chair. If you'd like to be recognized, please raise your hand, which can be found in the reactions tab on your Zoom screen. So, Madam Chair, I think we are all set.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. First order, I can go right to the first order of business. You already announced that it was by Zoom and all that, right? Yeah. So the first order of business would be the open session minutes of September 21st and October 5th. I don't know if you want to do them together or one at a time.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of both September 21st and October 5th, 2021, as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Bob Jones, aye.
John Renier, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Okay. So tonight we have a public hearing for the fiscal 2022 tax classification hearing. I don't know if the assessors are there or Sarah's there. So
Yeah, we have Sarah and Karen Avali here,
great.
and I believe Karen will be presenting. You can just go ahead and unmute Karen and you should be good to go.
Okay, this is,
Oh, hello.
okay, hello. I'm Karen DeValley, a member of the Board of Assessors. Also with us tonight is Chairman Tony Carapresso and Sarah Nabin, our newest assessor. The purpose of a classification hearing is to decide if the town wants one tax rate or two. One rate would be residential and open space. The second rate would be commercial, industrial, and personal property. And if you notice on page 1 of the recap, there is no open space, so it would be just residential. The Tyler values were approved October 21st, year 2021 by Bureau of Local Assessment. We have special thanks to our revaluation company, Real Estate Research Consultants, also known as RRC, and to Assessor Sarah Nabin for attention to detail in completing this lengthy process. And it was lengthy. The LA4 total value of the town is $1,070,641,592. The average, pardon?
Nope, nothing. I was just commenting. Sorry.
Okay. The average single family home, there were 1,834 of them, was $290,065 for a total of $531,978,800. The tax rate's going to be potentially $13.65. And last year's single family value was $256,539, and the tax rate last year was $14.68. So it's gone down $1.03. New construction for real estate was $5,617,080. Personal property added $21,036,600 for a total of $26,653,680, which helps lower the tax rate. The excess levy, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
The excess levy capacity is $3,762,103.27. That's the difference between the tax levy and the amount the town raised and appropriated. On page 1, you'd see that. You'd see the difference on page 1 of the recap. The Department of Revenue likes towns to be aware of exemptions they might be available to. There are 3. The open space discount does not include land under the Chapter 61, 61A, or 61B, or permanent conservation restrictions, or held for the production of income. This percentage of value shifts to the residential class, and because there is no open space, that would all you'd have is the residential space. As you can see on page 1 of the recap, there is no open space there. The residential exemption shifts the burden slightly away from the lower valued homes and increases the higher priced homes. There are 20 cities in the east that have this exemption. They're larger cities with owners of many rental properties, vacation homes, resorts, and higher valued homes. The small commercial exemption may be applied to certain commercial businesses that assessment is less than $1 million and occupied by a business certified by the Department of Employment and Training. If there are several businesses in one building, the owner of the building does not have to pass this tax on to the employees or the tenants. The total gross value of the exemption is distributed to the non-qualifying commercial property in the form of a higher tax rate. And last year, the DOR simplified signing this LA5, that's what you're actually going to be signing or would be signing. And they have a special town clerk certification form, which the town clerk signs along with 2 assessors to certify you took a vote tonight. And so I'm asking you to take a vote for 1 tax rate or 2. And that's your decision.
Karen, could I ask you, because we've always had a single rate, and I think it
Right.
worked well in our town. I'm
Yes,
just
it
wondering is there a reason why we might be looking at a different type of tax rate?
No, there wouldn't be any difference
Okay.
because, you know, with the pandemic and business closing, you'd probably be hurting yourself more so than,
Okay,
you know.
okay.
Karen, if I may ask, this is Bob Jones, if I may ask, has this been employed, the 2 tax rates, has it been employed anywhere else in the state? And if so, what has the effect been?
They have it down in the east. They have, because you have a lot of high-end properties down there. You have a lot of income properties down there. But up around Western Mass, there aren't 2 tax rates up in this area, you know, probably from Worcester, at least Worcester in this way, there aren't any.
Yeah. I mean, the cities have 2 tax rates, but that's
Right.
it, I believe.
Yeah, you'd have to have a lot of value to do it.
Yeah.
And this is not for discussion for tonight, but we're sort of on the subject, and that is there's this new residential exemption idea that Great Barrington is looking at, Stockbridge is looking at, and I hope that we can look at it in preparation for the future. It's not a discussion for tonight, but I know that you're probably thinking about that.
Yeah, that would be, you wouldn't want it, no, well, I just don't want to say you would do it tonight, but you would want to, maybe if that was something you were you would look at for next year.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you'd have to give everybody time to absorb it and you know, the paperwork, the DOR, approve it, and all kinds of steps to do before you could do it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Maybe, I'm sorry, I don't mean to butt in, Bob, but maybe that's something that you could, if you don't mind, or Sarah could research and just maybe get us something more in what it means, how it works, and what it would mean to the town of Lee. No pressure, no hurry on it, because it wouldn't be done.
That makes sense.
Certainly. I can do that. I can reach out.
Thanks, Sarah,
Certainly.
just to see what it means.
Yep, absolutely.
All done?
Oh, just
John, do you have any
to clarify for our minutes, the Board of Assessors recommends a single rate, correct?
Yes, they do. I'm sorry, I didn't read all the way to the bottom of my page. But
Correct.
they recommend a single tax rate.
Great.
Hey, Karen, is it safe to say that 26 million in new growth is above average?
I'd have to ask Sarah, but I think last year we had more because of what, Sarah?
It's a little bit more this year, and only because of the 504 utilities that came in. So we actually have more this year than last year, but not by a huge amount. But it is more this year than last year.
Mhm.
And we had to have appraisals on all the utilities.
Correct. The
Yeah,
504
so-
utilities were done by appraisal. So the new growth is mostly because of those 504 utilities and personal
Yeah.
property.
And the potential to go to ATV with them
Correct.
because, yeah,
Correct.
so you had to put more in your overlay this year too.
Correct. So it's offset by our exemptions and abatements in our overlay account.
Yeah.
So though we saw the new growth increase, we had to offset because of ATV cases.
And we hope we don't go there, but you never know.
Yeah, so, and $13.65 for about a dollar lower tax rate, but that's not necessarily gonna have an impact because property values went up, right?
Correct. Typically what happens is when the values go up, the rate comes down.
Mhm. Mhm. That makes sense.
Are you all set, Bob and John?
Yeah,
Does somebody want to make a motion to accept the recommendation of the Board of Assessors for a single tax rate?
Yeah.
I'll
Go ahead, Bob.
make a motion that we accept the recommendation of the Board of Assessors for a single tax rate for the town.
I'll second.
Okay, and that's for fiscal 2022, sorry. All those, any questions from anyone?
Yeah,
All the- What?
sorry, no, I got nothing.
All those in favor?
Bob
John
Jones-
Renier, aye. Sorry, cut you off, Bob.
Bob Jones, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. And thank you, Karen and Sarah
You're
and
welcome.
Karen, yeah.
Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Now, do we have any public comments tonight? Chris, I think you're in charge of this, right? Watching to see if anybody puts their hand up.
Chris, you're muted.
Oh,
Chris, Britton, you're muted. I think you were trying to say something, and I do see a couple thumbs up, so.
I see a thumbs up. I don't know if Josh wanted to speak in public comment or if you were just giving a thumbs up to the tax rate. But that's the only thing
No,
I
I
see.
vote. I have a public comment.
Okay, thanks, Josh. So we do have Josh Bloom who has a comment, a public comment.
It's, I have a couple of questions. I want to know where the town is with the process of transitioning from a representative town meeting model to open voting at a town meeting. And I want to know when the town anticipates all in attendance will be allowed to vote. The reason I'm bringing this up at this point is because at the September 27th planning board meeting, they mentioned that they wanted to hold a special town meeting before the town meeting to pass the bylaw revisions that they were looking to do. And I wanted to get a sense of whether the procedural change for representatives to an open meeting will be done before our next regular scheduled town meeting, if it would be done before a special town meeting, if that was going to be what was going to be called for. And if neither of those are true, if it's not going to be until after the next town meeting, I want to know if we can push off the planning board's bylaw revisions until after at least the next town meeting.
okay. I don't think we know exactly what's happening, Josh, at this point. It's been sent into the legislature and we're waiting to hear back from them as to what we have to do. And I probably would say at this point, we'll hear somehow, probably after the first of the year, that it may go to a ballot question for the voters to vote on whether to change back from town, representative town meeting to open town meeting. So it won't be until after our next annual town meeting at the very least.
And
I don't know if that-
then I would suggest that there is not, they've been working on these revisions for quite some time. And frankly, they're not done because they've not done the sign bylaws. And so there are also concerns about having the ability to do it outside and whether that was weather permitting. So could we potentially look to steer that towards after the town meeting rather than before the town meeting?
I think, well, we could, or the planning board could. I know that they have been working on, they have some revisions they've already done probably a year and a half ago and have been waiting for a town meeting to go to. And I know they just had to have their public hearing. I think they've had it already. So those are ready to go at the next available town meeting we have. And I know the sign bylaw they started. I don't know what the timeline is on that process. It'll just fall whenever it falls, whenever. I mean, that's what I'm envisioning right now. As I said, we haven't heard back from the state.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Well,
yeah,
they were calling-
sorry, go ahead.
I was saying that they were calling for having a special town meeting before the town meeting to pass this.
Yeah, I was
Well,
just going to mention, there's
yeah.
a couple things at play there. So there may be a need for a special town meeting anyway, because we do have the CPA bylaws that need to go through.
There's the charter committee, the charter review.
Charter
committee too.
revision.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the planning board had a couple different changes, and I see Matt from the planning board has his hand up, so he may want to address this as well. But there's changes that were done on a legal and editorial analysis that we paid for, and then there's other changes that the board's been working on their own. So there could be a difference there of those, but I don't want to speak for the planning board. But if it goes the way, the legislature is likely to have us bring it to referendum, which would mean that would be after the May town meeting, would be the Monday after a Thursday meeting. And then, we go from there. So, but there may be a need for a special town meeting before the next regular annual meeting anyway.
Yeah, and Chris, Matt might speak to this too, but isn't it true that after their public hearing closes, we have to hold a town meeting within a certain amount of, there's a certain timeline that we would have to bring those forward?
Right, they have 6 months. Otherwise, we have to hold another public hearing. Would
Right.
be the case there.
So they'd have to do the hearing again. if we
And
didn't.
the sign bylaws would not be part of that anyway.
Right.
That would definitely be later because those were not included in the public hearing, so those aren't scheduled. But I'll turn it over to Patty if you'd like to, recognize the planning board who is here if you'd like.
Does he still have his hand up?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe he's got a better timing definition on this.
Thank you, Matt Carlino, Planning Board. Yeah, unfortunately, the Planning Board has been working on a couple of the bylaws since 2015, actually. The special permit process and the site plan process has been a long haul. They tried to get it on the town meeting back in 2016. Something happened. So we took it up again, and then the pandemic hit, and so we've been putting it off for a couple of years now, and we're really anxious to get these changes because it'll help catch us up. We're actually the bylaws need to be changed to help out the applicants that are coming to make it easier, because we do what we can to help the applicants as they come in, but our bylaws are antiquated, so the sooner we get those updated, the better all around. So we've put a lot of time into it, and everybody's really anxious to get them going. And we are in the middle of a public hearing, and we're continuing it each time to give us enough time to have a meeting within the 6 month time frame. So I think the board, I don't want to speak for the whole board, but I sort of will, because I think we're all really anxious to get these bylaws approved and then start, our next priority is actually the sign by law to bring us in to legal status, I guess, there with the ACLU letter. And so we're gonna, at our next batch, we're gonna work on those sign permits. But we do really want to push for a special town meeting this winter just to get done with our work. I mean, Peter Blum has done a lot of our editorial work on these, and I mean, he's just put in a ton of time, and it's just time to kind of bring it to an end and decide on these. So I think it's safe to say we would like to move forward as quickly as possible.
Thanks, Matt. Josh, does that answer your question or?
I think it does. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for the question, because it's been hanging out there in my mind as well.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, Kathy.
Just to mention, we do have a hand with Kathy Hall. On Kathy Hall, I think she had a comment. And also, I just wanted to mention that I believe the reason for the special town meeting, rather than doing it at the annual, was to give people more time just to discuss those bylaw changes rather than trying to cram it into a meeting with 30 other articles. So. And I think Kathy.
So I just want to know where we stand with getting things organized for the open space and recreation plan. That needs to be done sometime 2022. And I know the last time we worked on it, we did hire Berkshire Regional Planning to help us with that process. And once that process is done, then it has to go to the state for approval. And the reason for the open space and rec plan, other than keeping everything up to date within your community, is to be able to get state funding, state grants. So we want to make sure that we keep that to the forefront. But I don't know if, anything has been done yet.
Okay, I think this is something we can check into before our next meeting to see where we are with this, because I know there was discussion on it. And I'm not positive, but I'm almost thinking we put the money into our last budget for this, but I may have that mixed up with the master plan. So
No, I think you're correct, Patty. I think we had both. I think both items were funded at town meeting.
okay, so we can look into it and see where we go with it. And if the money's there or not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, if there's nobody else waiting, next item of business is the,
Yeah, don't see anyone. So.
okay, thanks, is the paving contract to LB Corporation. I don't have the list of streets that are being done. I don't know if you do, Chris. I didn't think to put them on here. It's probably in one of the 100 pages, but there's lots of them.
Yeah, the one that was going to be done first would be Golden Hill Road, which they're looking to start right away, as soon as this week, if everything goes according to plan tonight. And then in the springtime, they were looking at Naven Ave, Naven Heights, Mandalay Road as well. So.
Yeah, and I've also got Circular Ave.
Oh, it's Circular. Thank you. Yep.
My understanding is we sent out 6 or 7 packages, but only received 2 bids.
Correct. Yep.
And LB was the low bidder. And let's see if he's got a price on here.
It was 669,000 in change. I can give you that exact number.
Is it 669 or I've got 699,000 here on the front page on the agreement. contract price, line 2.
Oh, I have that too, Chris,
Yep,
$6.99.
$6.99, $3.99
Right.
and 20 cents. Yeah.
And that's the total for all those streets.
For all the streets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions on this, or it's gone in front of the DPW board?
hmm
Yes. And that's, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just say, so if there's no questions, do we have a motion to approve?
Yeah, you, we're authorizing the chair to sign this one, right? Or are we all?
Yeah, the motion would be to approve it and authorize the chair to sign.
I'll make a motion to authorize the paving contract with LB for the streets listed, and authorize the chair to sign.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Thank you. I'm sorry, Chris Britton.
Mhm.
I know we've already voted this $6.99. I'd just like to make sure before the monies are set up, because the email I have with the two bids, it is $669, $399.20. That might just be a typo.
Yeah, I'll check on it because I did have this, the 669 with,
Okay,
but I had them added up to be.
I'm thinking it might just be a typo, so we just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
That says not
correct.
to exceed that, so, but yeah, we'll double check it before.
Okay,
I believe
Thank
it
you.
was 669 was the number I had, so.
yeah. Okay. Moving along, we have some Berkshire Gas permits. Let's see. Want to take them one at a time?
Sure.
That's only two. Okay, the first one is to install new gas service at 45 Mountain View Terrace. We have a,
Mountain View Terrace. you
doesn't
want-
look like we're gonna have to dig up the road. Attempt to bore all blacktop areas. And it's not signed by anybody. I'm not sure if this has gone to the police or if it needs to.
Probably will need to after.
Yeah, we can do it after.
The originals are signed.
They
Oh,
are,
okay.
Yes.
okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the application for installation of a new gas service at 45 Mountain View Terrace.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. All right, and the second one is to install new gas service at 165 Stockbridge Road. And I don't, so this one's signed too, Cindy?
Yes. The originals are. I think I have those.
Okay,
I don't think you have the originals.
okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the application for an installation of a new gas service at 165 Stockbridge Road.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Bob Jones, aye.
Hey Patty, before we move on, I just wanted to make sure, I'm just noticing in my packet, I'm not sure what you guys have, but the plans, the actual.
Yes.
They were mixed up, so I want to make sure
I
that
just-
Cindy,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just
make
bought
sure-
those
Yeah, so,
and
so
we can,
the
she can
gas,
fix it tomorrow.
right, the map for Mountain View Terrace was attached to the Stockbridge Road permit
Right,
and vice versa on the other side. So just want to make
I'll
sure.
fix that on the
those-
originals.
Yeah, okay, just want to make sure those,
right.
are correct on the,
So they don't start digging in the wrong place.
right, yeah.
Okay, so Bob, I think you okayed it.
Yes,
Sean,
Did we vote? Did I second? Sorry,
not yet. Oh,
second.
yeah. And
think-
then I called, say
I think
aye.
I think we voted and I brought that up before we
Right.
moved on, sorry.
we start again. Bob Jones, aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Thank you. Okay, and now we have some reappointments, which is always a good thing. These are the other two appointments to the Historical Commission. One is from Sandy Casalio, and the other one is from Bill Matthews. And I think they are both 3-year terms. So if I could have a motion, and we'd like to thank them for their service also.
Yeah. I'd make a motion to reappoint Historical Commission members Sandy Casalio and Bill Matthews for 3-year term.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Then we have, I guess we should probably, well, let's just start with the first one. We have Bobby Paley, who would like to be appointed to a 1-year term of the 5-Town Cable Advisory Committee.
I'll make a motion to appoint Bobby Paley to the 5-Town Cable Advisory Committee.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
Okay, Pat Carlino, aye. We have 2 appointments to the Agricultural Committee, both of which are 1-year term. So we should probably take them together. One is for Caroline Young and the other one's for Dave Carrington. And we'd like to thank them too for their time. And if I could have a motion,
I'll make a motion that we appoint both Caroline Young and David Carrington to the Agricultural Committee. To the Agricultural Committee.
Second.
all those in favor?
Bob Jones, aye.
Sean Renier, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. And lastly, but not least, we have an appointment, Kathy Hall, to the Lee Youth Commission. It's a 3-year term.
Make a motion to appoint Kathy Hall to the Lee Youth Commission.
Oh, I got a lot of questions about Kathy Hall. Just, I'll second that motion, right?
All those in favor?
Sean Renier, aye.
Bob Jones, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Thank you all. Thank you, Bobby, Caroline, David, and Kath.
Oh, that's great. We got some reappointments and some new members.
And now, last but not least, we have, well, not quite last, sorry, a trunk or treat announcement, which I'm sure all the children in school have gotten their take homes on this, but just to repeat it one more time. Friday, October 29th, from 5 to 8 o'clock. It'll be a drive-through trunk or treat to take place at the high school, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, at the Lee Middle and High School parking lots. Okay. It'll work somewhat like it did last year. Kids will drive through in their cars. It's for Lee residents and families with students currently attending Lee schools or daycares. Registration is required. And you can, I know everybody got one of these, but you can go online at leepto.org/trunk or treat 2021 to get to register and let them know you're coming. And hopefully it won't be as cold as it was last year. So we're looking forward to that. So kids got, last year they didn't have trick or treat, but they had trunk or treat. This year they're having both. So I hope that's Friday the 29th, and then Trick or treat actually will be the following Sunday, October the 31st. Okay.
Mhm.
And the last real order of business we have is the Lee Youth Commission update from Kathy.
Well, first of all, thank you for the appointment, and Bob Jones, I have many questions about that Kathy Hall as well. So, but at any rate, the pickleball lines have started to be put down at the tennis courts at the athletic field, but they had to stop the installation of those lines because of the weather. So hopefully that will be completed next week. People are already asking about the pickleball, and they're very excited. So the Lee Youth Commission's very excited to follow through on that. The Lee Youth Commission is also working on bylaws for the Lee Youth Commission, and we did vote on them. We're just cleaning that up. We've had the help from Chris Britton to make sure that we're not superseding any other laws. So once that's cleaned up, I will send the copies to the select board so that you can look them over and see if we can adopt them or not adopt them. And then, as you know, Barry and Dunn have been working on the marketing analysis and financial feasibility for a community center in Lee. They have been doing interviews, and they are working on a Zoom meeting, a public meeting for Wednesday, November 3rd from 6:30 to 7:30. They do have the link, but they're waiting. I just sent something to Chris about the agenda. So once Chris has that, then it will be posted. And that's it, unless you have any questions for me.
And I did add it to the calendar, Kathy. It just, once we have the announcement, we'll add that link on as well, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we don't have any pending business tonight. Mr. Town Administrator, do you have anything you'd like to bring up?
I just wanted to say thanks again to Sarah Navin and the assessors for all their work on a particularly challenging year for doing the tax rate. So I was glad we were able to get that all done, so.
Yes, they're very helpful, Chris. Bob, Sean, do you have anything you'd like to discuss or just before we leave?
I'm okay.
You know, I was gonna bring up, it was interesting that Josh was here earlier talking about town meeting. I was gonna bring that up in public comments, because I think it would be worth, this is, I guess I'm just kind of digesting and thinking about what he said, but I personally think that it'd be worth having a town meeting this winter.
Oh, yeah,
I'm kind of wondering
do.
your thoughts as well, Bob and Patty, but that's kind of where I'm at. Just because I think there's a lot of lingering stuff that is kind of out there that we should really act on before the next regular town meeting. Otherwise, we're going to have a marathon of a meeting.
Right. And that's happened before where, planning and zoning laws, they tend to be long and they have to be explained and what is it doing. And
Right.
if you have, I think there's like 7 at least out there that they've got. So if you try to tack that on to your regular annual town meeting, yeah, we'd be there overnight or 2
It
days
could
in a row.
likely be a 2-night. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe there's 7 changes, and then the legal and editorial analysis has about, I think it's close to 80 corrections, which will all be adopted at once. And a lot of them are more to clean up things of terminology, inconsistencies in the language that's used. Not a lot of that is not changing the actual way the zoning works, but again, fixing inconsistencies and things. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions that will, a special meeting will give more people time to ask, so before they vote on that.
Mhm.
And Patty, your point is well taken about the transition from town rep government to popular vote. And we probably should hear about that first before scheduling the special town meeting, but I am all for a special town meeting
Yeah.
before the regular one.
Yeah, I just, yeah. I mean, these things take forever. Government moves slowly, you know,
Mhm.
so, so does anyone have anything else
That was
tonight?
it for me.
Okay, so our next regular meeting will be November 2nd, 2021, due at 7 o'clock. At this point in time, it's still planned for Zoom. We're kind of waiting on more guidance from the health department to see if we should make changes. So could I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And all those in favor?
Bob Jones, aye.
John Renier, aye.
Pat Carlino, aye. Thank you very much and good night.